This wasn't supposed to happen. The second 50 Cent allegedly connected himself to King Von with the phrase "the last king of Chicago," the internet completely lost control. Overnight, social media exploded with rumors about a secret King Von movie, leaked posters, hidden projects, and whispers that 50 Cent might be preparing his most controversial street documentary yet. But then things got dangerous. Because fans in Chicago weren't reacting like this was just entertainment. To many people, King Von's story is still personal, still painful, and some critics immediately started accusing the industry of turning real deaths, real trauma, and real street wars into profit. Then came the reactions. Cryptic Instagram posts, live stream debates, O'Block supporters defending Von's legacy, while others warned that Hollywood was about to expose too much. The internet quickly started connecting dots to 50 Cent's history of building empires from street stories like BMF and Power. And that's where the story gets messy. Because instead of denying the rumors, 50 seemed to lean directly into the chaos. And once he did that, fans became convinced something bigger was happening behind the scenes. Something Chicago wasn't ready for. The moment the phrase "last king of Chicago" started circulating beside the names of 50 Cent and King Von, the internet instantly knew this wasn't going to be a normal rap conversation. What started as a few viral posts suddenly turned into one of the most emotionally charged debates hip-hop had seen in months. At first, people assumed it was fake. Just another fan-made movie poster designed to go viral for engagement. But within hours, major hip-hop blogs started reposting the rumors. TikTok pages began making cinematic edits. YouTube commentators started analyzing possible connections. And then fans noticed something that made everything feel way more serious. Nobody close to the situation immediately shut the rumors down. That silence changed everything. Because in today's internet culture, silence creates theories. And theories create chaos. Suddenly, old footage of King Von started flooding timelines again. Interviews, live stream clips, emotional moments with his family, videos of him laughing with his children, pictures with his mother, clips of him speaking about loyalty and pain. Fans weren't just remembering King Von as a rapper anymore. They were remembering him as a father, a son, a brother, and somebody whose entire life became larger than music after his death. And that's where the story became dangerous. Because the second Hollywood rumors attach themselves to somebody like King Von, emotions become impossible to control. To millions of fans, Von's story still feels unfinished. His rise happened too fast. One moment he was becoming one of the biggest drill artists in the world, and the next moment social media was flooded with footage of panic, confusion, and heartbreak after the Atlanta shooting that took his life in 2020. Even years later, people still debate everything surrounding that night. The internet still argues over who was wrong, who escalated the situation, and whether King Von could have survived if things happened differently. That pain never really disappeared. And according to fans online, that's exactly why people became uncomfortable when rumors about a movie or documentary started spreading. Because now it wasn't just about music anymore. It was about reopening wounds. Especially for Von's family. Almost immediately, fans started bringing up his mother, Taysha, who has publicly defended her son's legacy multiple times online. Supporters argued that any major project connected to Von should involve people closest to him, not just outsiders trying to profit from his story. Others pointed toward his sister Kayla B, who has repeatedly spoken emotionally about losing her brother and protecting his image from internet narratives. And once Kayla B's name entered the conversation, social media exploded even harder. Because fans know how protective she is over Von's legacy. People immediately started speculating whether the family even knew about the rumors. Some fans believed they would support a properly made documentary if it honored Von's real story. Others believed the family would never allow Hollywood to dramatize painful moments connected to his death, his street history, or the people around him. Then the internet started discussing Von's children. And the entire mood shifted emotionally. Videos of King Von with his son and daughter started going viral across TikTok again. Emotional edits showing him smiling with his kids flooded social media timelines. Fans began posting comments saying things like, "Those children deserve to see their father remembered correctly," while others argued that turning his life into entertainment could traumatize the family even more years later. No cap, the internet became deeply divided. One side believed a documentary or series could immortalize King Von forever. The other side believed it risked turning real family pain into binge-watch content for millions of strangers. And that's where things got even messier. Because while fans were debating ethics online, people also started connecting the rumors to Asian Doll, whose emotional history with Von has remained part of internet discussions for years. Old clips of Asian Doll speaking emotionally about Von resurfaced again. Fans revisited live streams, interviews, and social media posts where she discussed grief, loyalty, and the pain surrounding his death. Some supporters argued that people close to Von emotionally still carry scars from losing him, which made the idea of a dramatized Hollywood project feel even more sensitive. Meanwhile, others brought up Lil Durk, because nobody played a bigger role in King Von's rap career than Durk. Fans immediately started wondering whether Durk would support a possible 50 Cent project or quietly distance himself from it. And because Durk rarely speaks recklessly about sensitive situations involving fallen friends, his silence became another source of speculation online. That's how internet culture works now. Silence becomes evidence. Every missing response becomes suspicious. Every repost becomes proof. And within days, social media users were building entire conspiracy-style timelines trying to figure out whether 50 Cent had been planning something privately for months. Then fans noticed another uncomfortable detail. The title itself. The Last King of Chicago. That phrase triggered emotions immediately because people interpreted it differently. Some fans saw it as respect. Others believed it was controversial because Chicago drill culture has always been filled with division, rivalry, and complicated politics. Declaring anybody the last king instantly creates debate. Critics argued the title romanticized violence and street mythology too heavily. Others believed it reflected how massive King Von's influence became after his death. And once those arguments started, the internet completely lost control. Twitter Spaces turned into screaming matches. TikTok creators posted breakdowns analyzing whether Von's legacy had already surpassed older Chicago rap legends. Some bloggers claimed the title could offend other artists connected to the drill scene. Others argued that Von's storytelling ability, authenticity, and posthumous popularity already made him one of the most culturally impactful figures drill music ever produced. Meanwhile, 50 Cent remained just mysterious enough to keep the chaos alive. And honestly, that may have been the smartest thing possible, because every hour without clarification made the rumors spread even faster. Reaction channels started uploading multiple videos daily. Every thumbnail featuring 50 beside King Von generated massive clicks instantly. Some creators even started claiming inside industry sources confirmed meetings had already happened behind closed doors. Nobody knew what was real anymore. But reality almost stopped mattering because the emotional reaction had already taken over social media completely. And then another layer entered the story. Money. Fans began debating how much a King Von documentary or television series could realistically generate financially. Some argued Hollywood executives see King Von's story as commercially perfect because it contains every element modern streaming platforms love: violence, survival, fame, betrayal, tragedy, loyalty, internet mythology, and emotional family moments. Critics accused entertainment companies of turning black trauma into profitable content while communities continue struggling in real life. That accusation hit hard online, especially because Chicago drill music has always existed inside controversy. For years, outsiders consumed the music without fully understanding the environments it came from. To some people, a Hollywood adaptation felt inevitable. To others, it felt exploitative. And that's where fans started revisiting King Von's old interviews again. In several clips, Von spoke casually about pain, loyalty, paranoia, and survival in ways that felt disturbingly honest. Fans reposted moments where he laughed while discussing traumatic experiences, almost like somebody emotionally conditioned to chaos. Those clips suddenly hit differently after the movie rumors started spreading. People began saying Hollywood could never fully capture the reality behind Von's personality because his life wasn't built like a scripted television character. And this is where the emotional side of the story became impossible to ignore. Because underneath all the controversy, all the rumors, and all the internet chaos, there's still a real family grieving somebody they lost too early. Fans started posting emotional compilations of Vaughn's children growing older without him. Others reposted clips of his sister defending him online after his death. Supporters argued that people forget families are forced to relive trauma every single time the internet turns tragedy into entertainment again. But despite all the criticism, the rumors only became bigger. Because deep down, people couldn't look away. The combination of 50 Cent's reputation, King Von's mythology, Chicago politics, and internet obsession created the perfect viral storm. Even people who normally ignored rap news started paying attention, because the situation felt bigger than music now. And according to fans online, it felt dangerous. Because the more people discussed King Von's life publicly again, the more old tensions, old rivalries, and old pain started resurfacing across social media. And that's exactly when the streets started talking. The deeper the internet fell into the last king of Chicago rumors, the more emotional the entire situation became. What originally looked like another viral rap headline suddenly started turning into a full-scale debate about legacy, loyalty, and who really controls the stories of dead rappers after they're gone. Every day, new clips surfaced. Old live streams reappeared. Fans started revisiting forgotten interviews like they were hidden evidence connected to something much bigger happening behind the scenes. And strangely enough, the more chaotic everything became online, the more people started believing there actually could be a real project in development. Because this is the thing about 50 Cent. He understands internet psychology better than almost anybody in hip-hop. He knows how to let conversations grow naturally. He knows controversy creates attention, and attention creates obsession. That's exactly why fans became suspicious when he didn't immediately separate himself from the rumors surrounding King Von. People started asking one question over and over again. Why would somebody as calculated as 50 allow this story to spiral if there wasn't at least some truth behind it? And that question alone sent social media into another frenzy. Suddenly, old interviews of 50 talking about authenticity in street storytelling resurfaced online. Fans reposted clips where he explained how audiences connect emotionally to raw, believable narratives instead of fake Hollywood writing. According to some internet theories, people believed King Von's story represented exactly the type of emotionally powerful material 50 would be interested in adapting. But then another conversation started getting louder. The issue of trust. Because while millions of fans loved King Von's music, there were also people who feared what a mainstream adaptation could do to his image. Critics argued Hollywood has a habit of simplifying complicated street stories into entertainment products that ignore the emotional destruction behind them. Some fans worried that executives would focus too heavily on violence while ignoring the trauma, paranoia, mental pressure, and survival instincts surrounding Chicago drill culture. And honestly, those fears didn't come from nowhere. For years, drill music has existed inside controversy. Politicians blamed it for violence. Critics called it dangerous. Supporters defended it as authentic storytelling from environments mainstream media ignored. But regardless of opinion, one thing remained true: Chicago drill became one of the most influential movements in modern rap history. And King Von became one of its biggest symbols. Not just because of music, because of storytelling. Fans constantly described Von like somebody narrating real-life memories instead of writing songs. That realism became addictive to listeners worldwide. Some people even compared the cinematic nature of his tracks to street documentaries. Every song sounded visual. Every lyric felt personal. And after his death, that realism transformed his legacy into something almost larger than life online. That's why the rumors surrounding a possible project became so emotionally explosive. People weren't discussing fiction anymore. They were discussing somebody whose life already felt cinematic before Hollywood ever touched it. Then social media dragged another name into the chaos: Lil Durk. The moment fans started wondering whether Durk knew anything privately, the theories multiplied instantly. Some supporters believed Durk would never allow anybody to mishandle Von's story. Others believed the industry moves quietly behind closed doors long before the public hears anything official. According to online speculation, People started analyzing Dirk's interviews, captions, and reposts looking for hidden reactions connected to the rumors. No cap, fans were connecting dots everywhere. And because Dirk and Vaughn's relationship symbolized loyalty to many drill fans, emotions became even more intense. People revisited old videos of them together, old studio footage, backstage moments, jokes during interviews, and performances where their chemistry looked genuine. That nostalgia hit hard online because it reminded people how quickly everything changed after Vaughn's death. Then the internet shifted focus again, this time toward the women connected to Vaughn's life. Fans began reposting emotional clips involving Asian Doll, especially older live streams where grief and heartbreak became painfully obvious. Some viewers argued that people underestimate how emotionally devastating sudden fame and public tragedy become for the families and relationships left behind. Others accused social media of continuously reopening emotional wounds every time King Von trends again. But that didn't stop the rumors from spreading. If anything, the emotional reactions only made the story more viral. Because audiences online are drawn toward pain, mystery, and unfinished narratives. And King Von's story contains all three. That's exactly why TikTok edits started reaching millions of views again almost overnight. Emotional background music, slow-motion footage, clips of Vaughn smiling with his children, old interviews talking about survival. Fans turned his life into something that almost resembled internet mythology. And according to critics, that's exactly what makes the situation dangerous. Some commentators argued younger audiences have started romanticizing drill culture without fully understanding the trauma attached to it. They feared a major Hollywood adaptation could intensify that problem even more. Others pushed back aggressively, saying telling difficult stories honestly isn't the same as glorifying them. And this is where the internet became impossible to predict. Because both sides believed they were protecting King Von's legacy. One side believed documenting his life could preserve his story forever. The other side believed turning his pain into cinematic entertainment risked exploiting the people he left behind. Then came another twist nobody expected. Fans started revisiting the actual timeline surrounding Vaughn's rise to fame. And suddenly people realized how unbelievably fast everything happened. Within a relatively short period, King Von went from being known mostly inside Chicago circles to becoming one of the hottest names in drill music globally. Songs exploded online. Interviews went viral. Industry attention increased rapidly. Major collaborations followed. And through all of it, Vaughn's image remained built around authenticity. That authenticity became his biggest weapon. But according to some critics, it also became his biggest danger. Because the more successful he became, the more the industry benefited from the exact street image that also placed enormous pressure on him publicly. Fans online started debating whether rap culture sometimes traps artists inside personas audiences refuse to let them escape from. That conversation became deeply emotional, especially after people revisited old moments where Vaughn hinted at paranoia, trust issues, and survival instincts shaped by his environment. Looking back now, many fans believe there were signs of emotional exhaustion hidden behind his confidence long before his death happened. And suddenly, the rumored project started feeling darker. Because now people weren't just discussing entertainment anymore. They were discussing whether the industry itself contributes to the destruction of artists it later profits from. That conversation exploded online. Some fans directly accused labels, blogs, and platforms of monetizing conflict for engagement, while artists carry the emotional consequences privately. Others argued the audience itself shares responsibility because controversy consistently generates the highest attention in hip-hop culture. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's name remained attached to the chaos every single day. And the silence surrounding the rumors became louder than any official statement. Then social media noticed something else. Certain Chicago voices seemed uncomfortable with how fast the rumors were spreading. According to fans online, some people connected to drill culture believed a major series or documentary could potentially reopen old tensions connected to rivalries, street politics, and painful losses tied to the scene. Even if names changed or events became dramatized, many believed audiences would still connect fictional moments to real people immediately. And that's where things got dangerous. Because once internet audiences believe they're decoding hidden truths, speculation becomes uncontrollable. Fans started theorizing about what a possible series could include. Some believed it would focus mainly on Vaughn's music career. Others believed it could explore deeper issues involving Chicago violence, rap politics, loyalty, betrayal, and industry manipulation. Then came the conspiracy theories. Some internet users claimed 50 Cent intentionally allowed the rumors to spread as a way of measuring audience reaction before making any official move. Others believed fake leaks were being planted deliberately to build anticipation. A few even argued the entire situation was already part of a calculated marketing strategy. Nobody knew what to believe anymore. But people couldn't stop watching. And honestly, that may have been the biggest sign that the story already became bigger than reality itself. Because even without confirmation, audiences emotionally committed themselves to the narrative. Reaction channels discussed it daily. Blogs reposted every rumor instantly. TikTok creators built entire pages around analyzing the situation. The algorithm completely consumed the controversy. Then another emotional layer entered the story. King Vaughn's children. Fans started debating what it must feel like for them to grow up watching the internet continuously transform their father into both a legend and a controversy at the same time. Emotional edits featuring Vaughn with his kids flooded social media again. Comments filled with people arguing that preserving his humanity mattered more than preserving his mythology. That hit hard emotionally. Because beneath all the theories, all the debates, and all the rumors, there's still a family living with permanent loss. Fans revisited clips involving Vaughn's mother Tasha and his sister Kayla B., both of whom became symbols of protecting his legacy publicly after his death. Supporters argued nobody should control King Vaughn's story except the people who truly knew him personally. But at the same time, millions of fans felt emotionally connected to him too. And that's what makes modern internet culture so complicated. The audience begins feeling ownership over public figures they never actually met. Especially after tragedy. That emotional attachment is exactly why every rumor surrounding this situation kept getting bigger instead of fading away. And just when people thought the internet couldn't become more obsessed with the story, another cryptic wave of reactions started appearing online. Main Body, Part 3. Another cryptic wave of reactions started appearing online. Random captions. Eye emojis. Mysterious reposts. Fans immediately started screenshotting everything, convinced people behind the scenes were reacting to the last King of Chicago rumors without directly speaking on it publicly. And once that started happening, the internet completely lost control again. Because at this point, the story wasn't just about a possible movie anymore. It became about what King Vaughn represents to modern hip-hop culture. The deeper fans looked into his legacy, the more emotional the conversation became. Old interviews resurfaced daily. Clips of Vaughn talking about survival, trust, loyalty, and betrayal started circulating all over TikTok again. Some fans noticed how calm he sounded discussing situations most people could never mentally process. Others argued those moments showed how normalized trauma had become inside the environment he came from. And that realization hit people hard. Because suddenly the rumors surrounding 50 Cent didn't feel like random entertainment gossip anymore. They felt symbolic. Almost like Hollywood and internet culture were colliding directly with the real emotional scars left behind by Chicago drill history. Then the debates became even darker. Fans started revisiting the night King Vaughn lost his life in Atlanta. Social media timelines filled with breakdown videos, old security footage discussions, live stream debates, and endless theories about what could have happened differently. Even years later, people still emotionally argue over that night like it happened yesterday. Some believe Vaughn became a victim of fame and pressure colliding together publicly. Others think the streets and the music industry became impossible to separate once his career exploded. And according to fans online, that's exactly why a possible movie or documentary feels so dangerous. Because no matter how cinematic the story sounds, real people are attached to every chapter. That's when another emotional conversation started taking over social media. King Vaughn's children. Fans reposted old videos of Vaughn smiling, joking, and spending time with his son and daughter. Emotional edits flooded TikTok again with captions like they deserved more time with him. And once those clips started trending, the entire mood around the controversy shifted emotionally. People stopped discussing entertainment for a second and started remembering that behind all the internet mythology, there's still a real family dealing with permanent loss. That's why supporters of Kayla B and Taysha became extremely vocal online. Fans argued that protecting Vaughn's image matters because social media has already distorted his legacy enough over the years. Some believed a properly handled documentary could preserve his truth. Others feared Hollywood would exaggerate violence while ignoring the emotional reality behind his life. And honestly, nobody trusted the industry completely. Because hip-hop history is filled with stories where pain became profitable after tragedy. That uncomfortable reality is exactly why this situation exploded the way it did. The internet started revisiting old examples of artists whose deaths transformed them into larger-than-life entertainment symbols almost overnight. Critics argued audiences sometimes consume trauma like binge-watch content without thinking about the emotional consequences for the families left behind. Others pushed back hard, saying documenting difficult realities honestly can actually preserve history instead of erasing it. And somewhere in the middle of all these debates, 50 Cent's silence kept fueling everything even more. Because every day without clarification made fans believe something bigger was secretly happening. That's when conspiracy theories completely took over. Some fans claimed producers were already researching Chicago locations privately. Others believed scripts had already been written behind closed doors. A few internet pages even started posting fake casting rumors, which only made social media more chaotic. Nobody could separate facts from engagement farming anymore. But the algorithm didn't care. Every post involving King Von and 50 Cent generated millions of interactions instantly. And that changed everything. Because now content creators realized this wasn't just another rap topic. This was one of those rare internet moments where emotion, mystery, nostalgia, controversy, and culture all collided together perfectly. Reaction channels began posting daily updates. Twitter Spaces turned into screaming matches. TikTok creators built entire pages around decoding hidden clues. Even people outside hip-hop culture started paying attention because the story felt larger than music itself. A charismatic rapper rises from one of America's most violent environments, beats impossible odds, gains millions of fans rapidly through raw storytelling, becomes controversial because audiences can't separate the art from the reality, then dies suddenly at the peak of fame, leaving behind unanswered questions, emotional supporters, devastated family members, and endless internet mythology. That's literally the type of narrative streaming platforms build empires around. And once fans realized that, the conversation became even more intense. Some critics accused the music industry itself of helping create destructive cycles where dangerous lifestyles become commercially valuable. Others argued fans are equally responsible because controversy consistently receives the highest engagement online. The internet quickly started debating whether drill culture was ever truly understood by mainstream audiences in the first place. Especially once fans revisited old clips of Vaughn speaking about trust issues and paranoia. Looking back now, some viewers believe there were signs of emotional exhaustion hidden underneath his confidence the entire time. Others argued he understood exactly how dangerous fame was becoming around him long before his death happened. Some internet users began claiming the title Last King of Chicago itself could reignite tensions inside drill culture, because certain fans interpreted it as disrespect toward other Chicago legends and influential artists. That immediately created another war online. Supporters argued King Von's impact after death already made him iconic enough for the title. Critics believed no single artist should carry a label that massive inside such a complicated culture. Yet somehow, every time Vaughn trends again, the reaction feels emotional, intense, and deeply personal for millions of people online. Fans still quote his lyrics daily. They still repost old interviews. They still debate unfinished questions surrounding his life and death. And maybe that's the biggest reason these rumors exploded so powerfully in the first place. Because deep down, people still feel like King Von's story never truly ended. And maybe that's why this entire situation feels so unsettling. Because whether the rumors about 50 Cent and a Last King of Chicago project are real, exaggerated, or completely misunderstood, the internet already proved one thing beyond doubt. King Von still has one of the most emotionally powerful legacies in modern hip-hop. Years after his death, fans still react to his name like the pain never disappeared. Every old interview becomes viral again. Every clip gets analyzed differently. Every rumor attached to his legacy creates chaos online within hours. And honestly, not many artists have that kind of impact anymore. But this controversy also exposed something much deeper. It exposed how modern internet culture transforms real trauma into non-stop public entertainment. One cryptic title, one viral rumor, one repost, and suddenly millions of people begin emotionally reliving stories connected to violence, loss, loyalty, and pain all over again. That's why the debate around 50 Cent became so intense. Some fans believe he could create something legendary that preserves King Von's story forever. Others believe Hollywood should never touch these kinds of real-life tragedies because the emotional damage behind them is too real to commercialize. And maybe both sides have a point. Because behind all the viral posts, all the TikTok edits, all the conspiracy theories, and all the internet drama, there's still a family missing somebody they loved. Do you think 50 Cent should actually make a King Von Last King of Chicago movie or documentary? Would it honor his legacy or exploit it? And if a project really is happening behind closed doors, do you think Chicago is ready for the reaction it could cause? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now because this conversation is only getting bigger. And trust me, if more details surface, the internet is going to explode all over again. So hit that like button, subscribe, and turn notifications on because we're watching this story very closely. And something tells me, this is far from over.